Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Star Wars review, and today we have an exciting review. I've been actually meaning to build this one for over a year now. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2024 LEGO GWP, which was the Trade Federation Troop Carrier, which was released as part of the 25 years of Star Wars Episode 1, as well as the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. And like always, if you do go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. And with all that, let's just jump into the Star Wars review right away. This is set number 40686. It's part of the Star Wars theme and promotional sub-theme set. It was released only between May 1st and May 30th, 2024 as part of the Star Wars promotional event. It totals 262 pieces. And as of the recording of this video, since this was a gift with purchase, LEGO actually prices this set at $40 Canadian on their LEGO website. So that's about $30 USD and about 25 euros, which overall gives you about 20 cents per brick. Last but not least, the box dimensions are 26 centimeters by 19 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters high. See, as you know, every single year during the May the 4th promo event, Star Wars will always release some sort of cool promotional gift with purchases that you can get if you spend a certain amount of money per item. So in this case here, I did buy this set last year, and I'm pretty sure I spent anywhere between like $150 to like $175 Canadian in order to get this set. And what makes this set, in my opinion, one of the best promo sets that LEGO has made is because it was released during the LEGO Star Wars 25th anniversary lineup. So what makes this LEGO set so much more different than other sets, and why I think it's probably one of LEGO's best sets they've created to date that you can't actually buy. So let's talk about that. So right off the bat, let's talk about first impressions of this set. You've got the 25th anniversary box artwork, which is again only present for sets that were released last year. So right there, that creates a unique separation for a gift with purchase now compared to what you'll see later on in the future. Number two, you end up getting 8 minifigures. Now I understand that 6 of them are just basic battle droids, but you also get 2 pilot droids. And honestly, there's really not that many sets nowadays that you can even get 8 battle droids in. So actually, as of the recording of this video, they haven't released the brand new MTT, but in that set, you actually only get like 6 battle droids plus 1 pilot droid. And then I guess you also get 3 commander droids. But the point is that this is a free set and LEGO actually gives you 8 of those battle droids. And I think just right off the bat, we look at this box artwork and it's something that catches my eye right away. And on top of that, we know that this is a vehicle that was featured in the Star Wars movie Episode 1, like the Phantom Menace, during the Battle of Naboo. So this is an iconic ship that's part of a very historical battle in the first movie of Star Wars as part of the prequel trilogy. But enough talking about the box. Let's jump into this build and actually see, is this set really worth the hype from what I've been discussing with you so far? So this build only took me about 30 minutes to build. It did contain 3 bags and no stickers, which I thought was really cool, but it does have the 25th anniversary printed piece, which I did love seeing that. Overall, I ended up getting a few extra pieces on the side, and then the booklet itself was about 90 pages. It was pretty standard from what I've seen so far with LEGO Star Wars sets, where I find that they've reduced how many pieces per page when building the sets itself. So during the Separatist invasion and on the planet Naboo, there's 3 main types of vehicles that are used during this battle. The first one is the Trade Federation Troop Carrier. It's also known as a platoon attack craft, which is basically just a light duty vehicle that carries a bunch of droids into battle. On top of that, they'd be assisted with the MTT, which is the multi-troop transport vehicle, which is actually the one being released later on in August of 2025 this year. And then the last one is the AAT tank. Now this was shown back in an earlier version. I think it was a Star Wars battle pack from a few years ago. The AAT tank is the armored assault tank. And so these are the 3 primary types of vehicles that are used during this invasion. So what makes this a critical vehicle is that it's one of the main vehicles that's transporting all of those troops into battle. Now I know that this is the second time that Star Wars has created this vehicle. The first one actually wasn't even a gift with purchase. It was created back in 2015. Now, so let's start with the minifigures. The minifigures are pretty basic battle droids. I honestly don't think there's really been that many changes to what a battle droid's supposed to look like in the last, I want to say like 15 years for LEGO Star Wars. For me, I think the fact that they included 6 battle droids and then having 2 pilot droids is a big thumbs up. So for me, when I think about battle droids, I'm thinking about quantity rather than the actual aesthetics of it, because it's a battle droid. There's nothing really crazy about it. I think the pilot droids are really nice. I like seeing the different blue color that goes with them. It would have been nice if they include one of the backpacks with the battle droids as well, but I can understand, again, this is a gift with purchase. There are some limitations, but in general, I think overall, the minifigures are just basic minifigures in this case here. The overall build experience is pretty straightforward, which is what I like. This is a gift with purchase. I don't want this thing to be complicated, but what I like about this is I feel like every single piece was was utilized. I feel like LEGO had an opportunity here to make a very basic Star Wars troop carrier, but they didn't. They took it a step ahead by giving it the functionality of what the troop carrier is supposed to be. It's very easy to create a LEGO model that's very simplified, that doesn't have the ability in this case to detach the back end so that you can actually deploy the troops properly. They could have easily just made that attachable. So the fact that they went the extra step and made it very similar to what that 2015 version was, I think is a big up for LEGO in this case. Because again, I want to reiterate, this was a gift with purchase. This is something that LEGO is adding on for convenience. I just think that this attention to detail is really well done just from a mechanics perspective. From an accuracy standpoint, it looks very similar to the one you saw in episode 1. Now, obviously there's not that much footage of it because they're mostly showing an aerial view of all the battle vehicles, and there's only a quick glimpse of actually seeing this troop carrier. But from the shots that you do see in the movie, it is very similar. I love the brown usage in this case here. I feel like having the sleek slow pieces out on the outer edges of this vehicle, it really makes the colors pop in this case, which I absolutely love. The set itself is actually pretty durable, which is what I also noticed too, and I really do like that. I also really like the fact that you can actually hold the guns in the back of the vehicle, because I feel like it's one of those items where, like, you know, you look at Jedi Starfighters where they just make you hanging out the bottom of the vehicle where they have like a little connection piece, but the fact that they've included it in this spot is really cool. I couldn't find any exact footage if that's exactly where they are putting their guns, so maybe someone down below can let me know in the comments, but it would make sense. Once those troops are deployed, they would grab their blasters from the back of the vehicle and then just go to battle in this case. So looking at the design of this build, I actually really like the use of the minimal types of colors that were used. It was predominantly brown, beige, dark, and light bluish gray colors, which it's basically typical colors for a separatist vehicles. But in this case here, I actually feel like having the simplicity of this build allows it to pop a little bit more. And if anything, it helps the pilot droid stand out even more in this build, which I really do like. And then finally, two other things. We'll talk about playability and displayability. This set works in both ways. You know, I feel like when you have a lot of gift with purchases, a lot of times it's just like a really basic micro build starship in this case, where it's really just, you're not really going to play with it. It's more like a miniature display. But in something like this, what I like about it is it continues on with all the clone era vehicles that they have released over time, where it allows you to both display it and play with it. And that's why I'm a big fan of like the Jedi Starfighters and some of the vehicles that go with it. Anything that's under like that $200 price range is the sets that I enjoy, because it has both that display and playability feature. And I really like this in the end. And then the last thing is, well, normally I would ask about, okay, before I give my final score, is what do I think about the cost of it? Well, this didn't really cost anything. And I know a lot of you guys are going to mention, well, you have to spend a certain amount of money to get to this, but that's the whole point. See, when I'm not really going out of my way to buy this set. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy a different LEGO set in order to get this set. So this is an added bonus. And to me, I think that's unbelievable that we're getting this well-built Trade Federation carrier for free. So if you guys are new to my LEGO Star Wars reviews, I always end up giving it the AJL Bricks rating. Now, the AJL Bricks rating is, we're talking about the box artwork, we're talking about the minifigures, we're talking about the build experience, the build accuracy, design creativity, the cost of the set, its displayability, its playability, and also looking at the decorative pieces, whether it's stickers or it's printed pieces. And overall, I gave this set an 89 out of 100, which, looking back on all the sets I've reviewed, I think might be the highest rated review I've done for a Star Wars set. Now, some of you might say, okay, well, why is that the case? Again, I never went into buying these Star Wars sets for something like this. You kind of, like everybody, when you go and buy LEGO Star Wars sets and you want to get gift with purchase, the gift with purchase is normally pretty cool, but you're not really going out of your way always to get that. You're trying to just get the added bonus of buying a set during that time. And that's what I love about it. And that's where, you know, obviously lately, especially in 2025, we can all agree that LEGO Star Wars prices are just absurdly more expensive than they should be. And so when I reflect back on a year ago when this set was released, I don't know how you cannot sit there and say to yourself, you know what, this actually was worth it, especially from what you've seen in 2025. So we're going to end it off with the final thing that we always do in all of my LEGO reviews. This is where I ask myself the final 3 questions about this set, or in the segment that I like to call the verdict. So number 1, what was my favorite part about this set? My favorite part about this set is the simplicity of the build. It's like I said at the very beginning as well. The build experience was very straightforward. The simplicity of the colors in this set actually helped bring out the details of the overall build. And then on top of that, you add on the concept of just having droid minifigures, which is a very simplistic set. And that's what I actually really enjoyed about it. It was a build that was straightforward from start to finish, just like battle droids are. They're just simple, straightforward. They do their job, and that is it. There's no complex pieces to it. It's just game from point A A to point B, and then that is it. What's the one thing I didn't like about this set? Now, this I find is always the hardest question because it's very easy to just nitpick one specific thing. And I know I mentioned that I didn't want to compare this to a previous set, but I am going to say this. I think because this is a monumental battle during the Battle of Naboo, I still think they should have had some sort of reference to the Gungans on Naboo. If you looked at all the 25-year anniversary sets that were released, I'm pretty sure all of them, if not the majority of them, had an additional special minifigure that went with the set. So in my opinion, why not just continue it with this gift with purchase? I know that might be sounding greedy, but add in a Gungan. I'm not saying you need to add in Jar Jar Binks, but just add in a Gungan warrior. Show him with having a spear and a shield that really ties the whole set together. Now, I'm not saying he needs to be featured in the set, just have him as an extra piece, kind of like how they added like an ARC Trooper for the boarding of the 10 of 4 set that they released at the same time last year. I think having just a small extra little bit of detail would have made this, in my opinion, 100% set just by adding that extra, because it also would go with the rest of the 25th anniversary sets of that time. Now, the last thing I'll say is this set worth buying in 2025? Well, here's the first thing. You can't actually buy it in stores. Now, obviously, you can buy it secondhand, and then I'll talk about that in a second, but let's take a step back. Was this set worth buying in 2024 because you're not technically buying it now? I think yes. I think you're getting the best GWP that we have seen in a long time. And I know some of you are big fans of that was released in 2025, but in my opinion, I still think this was a better set. I get that you got to see the young troopers, but I feel like having this really nice build that, in my opinion, and I don't even agree with LEGO being a $40 set. I feel like that could be easily a $50 set, especially with the way LEGO Star Wars prices are going up tremendously nowadays. So in 2025, should you buy this set? I think it's really depending on you. In my opinion, I think this is a $50 set. Obviously, as time goes on, this will continue to go up, and go up. So it's really up to you. I wouldn't buy this set for more than $50. To be honest with you, I'd probably just stick with whatever the $40 range or $50 range if I really wanted this set. I have to say, if you missed out of this on May the 4th, I think that LEGO has big shoes to fill in order to create a new May the 4th promo that beats that set. Now, if you did go on to enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you believe that this is LEGO's best GWP that they have released on May the 4th? Or am I completely out to lunch? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to read what you guys have to think about this. And with all that, I'll see you guys next time for a brand new video.